Family, peace, 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 peace. All right, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. First off, I think we need to breathe, honey, because today has been, whew. Okay, so we are going to breathe. Okay, so if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Zena Bryant. I do inspirational videos. I do some vlogging, just a good old time over here. The thumbnail states growing through tough times. Okay, one of the things that you have to understand is everything is based upon what we give meaning to, right? So depending on the story that we tell ourselves, that's what is going to be our reality, right? And so if you feel that nobody is on your side or nobody is helping you out or whatever it is like that, that's what's going to magnify, and that's what you're going to keep on attracting. And it's going to appear like no one is really helping you out because of the story that you keep telling yourself. So I'm gonna give you guys some background. So when I was going to therapy in 2000, I want to say 2016, I started going to therapy, and I remember one day the therapist who I was seeing, I had did like a dump, right? And when I say a dump, what I'm referring to is, you know how you have so much built up in you and you don't express how you feel, you don't talk to anyone, and then like, probably you got a therapist and then you just like, dump everything out. And some may say, well, that's what the therapist is there for. But my therapist at the time, or the therapist that I was seeing, I remember when I explained to her, everything I was going through, probably for 10 minutes, just like going on, right? Going on and on and on, explaining to her everything that I was going through. I remember she looked at me and said, Dina, do you meditate? Okay. And I didn't know anything about meditation at that time. Okay. And I told her no. And one of the things she said was, well, whenever you're going through something, like what do you tend to turn to, right? What is like your outlet? And what I seen was oftentimes I would run from my problems, right? So I would get into stuff, whether it be learning, I would get into stuff, whether it is pertaining to me learning new things, or at that time it was pretty much religion. Life would go a certain type of way. One of the things that I would do is I would outsource. So I would listen to, stuff like Nation of Islam, or things that would deter or take me away from what I was going through, right? Because I didn't want to deal with those emotions. And I like to tell you guys all the time that emotions are nothing more than energy and motion, right? So it's important that you express how you feel. Another thing I am going to say is this: do not make your life harder, or don't make your life hard by accommodating others. Okay? What you have to understand is that you have to make sure you are good before you can make sure anyone outside of yourself is good. Okay? And it's important that we understand it. So, what are some of the ways that you could get through tough times or grow through tough times? Because you got to remember, everything is based upon what we tell ourselves and the story that we constantly saying. So, some of the things that I do is I meditate. Okay, meditation is so good. It helps you to understand your thoughts. It helps you to become an observer of your emotions, and it also helps you to not like just, because honey, sometimes you want to comfort a head, right? It helps you to be calm, and just to pay attention to how you feel. Okay. And I like to say when I meditate, it's like basically me connecting to my higher self and understanding that I am not on this journey by myself. Okay. So it's like a great connection far as, you know, me connecting to source, right? And I remember before, one of the things that I used to do also was I would call people and express like how I felt, right? And oftentimes, people have their opinions, and sometimes, they are telling you certain things from a standpoint of their perception, and sometimes they tell you things that they necessarily won't do. So what you have to understand is when you meditate, is like you are getting downloads so you could know what's the next move. Is you getting clarity, okay? That's a great form of dealing with your emotions and things of that nature. Another thing is express how you feel. You see how calm I am? You see how calm I am, honey? I meditated, honey. I had to meditate a few times this morning. But express how you feel, okay? Whenever you are bottling up your emotions because you're like, well, I can't tell people how I feel. One of the things I'm going to say, like me being on my spiritual journey and when I'm connecting to my higher self, my youngest son, one of the things that I see is I feel empowered, right? I don't feel like, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. One of the things that I keep on telling myself is everything is working out in my favor. And the truth of the matter is things are working in your favor. If you think that things aren't working in your favor, that's what's going to constantly keep showing up, right? But if you constantly tell yourself, no matter what it is that I'm going through, I know this is working in my favor. Because we could go all the way back in time and see everything that we ever been through, we was able to grow through, right? Another thing is, so you want to express how you feel, okay? Make sure you are expressing how you feel because you don't want to keep those emotions bottled up because those emotions, they causes depression, okay? You experiencing depression because you may not want to say anything to people because you feel like, well, it's going to be an argument or, if I just go along with them and, be a yes person or be a people pleaser, that's better than me arguing with them. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's going to happen is by you keep going along with them, first of all, you are enabling them. Okay. You are basically saying that everything that they're doing is just right. Okay. Sometimes you have to have a backbone and you have to speak up for whatever it is that you are going through. Let people know how you feel. And granted, maybe they won't care, but it's not for them to care. It is for you to express how you feel so you don't keep that energy, those emotions bottled up within yourself. Okay. The next one is journaling. Okay, one of the things that you could do is journal. You could script, you could write down the things that you may be going through, growing through, things that you may be facing to get a different perspective. I think sometimes when we write things down on paper, that's another form of us releasing that energy. And when we go back and look at the paper or whatever it is that we wrote down, it is a way for us to start thinking, other solutions as opposed of maybe how we felt that particular time. Okay. I hope this helps you guys out. These are some of the things that I do whenever I am growing through something. And I understand that the universe is on my side. I understand that the universe wants me to win. And be mindful of the story that you constantly telling yourself. Okay. If you are dealing with people that are difficult or people And that's another thing, because if you're like, oh, they so difficult, right? It's going to be more of that. But if you are dealing with people that are a certain type of way, be aware how they are, but also establish boundaries, okay? And granted, sometimes people will respect the boundaries, sometimes they won't, right? You want to be real with yourself as well. But the boundaries is there for people to understand how they are going to show up in your life, okay? For a long time, I didn't know anything about boundaries, but the moment I started incorporating the boundaries, it's like you letting people know, like, we will not go down this way. You will not cross this line. And if you was to cross this line, there will be consequences. Okay? You have to understand the way people treat us is the way we are showing up, right? So if you allowing people to, treat you a certain way, say certain things, they are going to constantly keep on doing it. We don't have control over others, but we have control over our perception and what we constantly allow to come into our lives. And so with that being said, I hope you guys got something from this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.